refugees from Pax Darkness are safe in the dwarven kingdom of Thormodden. You are in the ancient port city of Tarsus, searching for ships to bear them out of the dragon army's reach. But nothing in silent Tarsus is as you expected. The sea receded in a cataclysm. No ship will ever set sail from Tarsus again. The new quest is before you. To find one of the legendary DragonLance, mighty weapons that destroyed the dragons in ancient times. Welcome to the world of Kryn and the legendary DragonLance.
Got cinnamon girl stuck in my head.
Shut the fuck up. And we're live.
No, you can't stop me.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and others, to Wicked Studios presents DragonLance, Dragons of Ice, because we're cold as ice. Part 1. Even though this part 1 is really a continuation of what we were doing before, but I already called Dragons of Mystery concluded, so we're moving on to a new module. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us here on a D&D Friday. I'm your Dungeon Master, Adam. And let me introduce you to the rest of the group. And let's see if this motion overlay... Yeah, it works this time. I changed it around a little bit. Still didn't help us get here on time. But anyway, as you can see, we're still missing Gary. He's lost in, I was going to say the Outback, but that's a different country, but close enough. And...
He's lost in the Shire.
Thank you.
He's in the Shire. I really, that was poorly done on my part. You're absolutely
such an American.
So American, Adam.
I am. Yeah.
I think we all agreed that if Gary were to be a D&D race, he'd be a halfling.
He would totally be a halfling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hobbit, halfling, yeah, totally. 100%. And not because of his stature. He's not that short.
No. It's the personality.
Yeah,
It's
his personality.
and the hairy feet.
And the hairiness.
And the hair, yeah.
Yeah.
And then KD is feeling a little under the weather today, so they won't be joining us either. But we still have your next 3 favorite players.
In no particular order.
You're just like you're all the 3 of you as a group are a distant third. So why don't we start with let's see. Am I going to pick who I think is the worst or the best? I'm going to start with Jason.
All right. The best of the worst.
I was going to say it's a safe middle ground.
Safe middle ground. I'm happy with being an average worst player. That's okay.
That's the spirit.
Because it means I'm not the worst, so I'm okay with that. Hi, everybody. My name is Jason. I am playing Zane, the Elven Wizard, and Kaylani, the Elven Druid. Both of whom have twin siblings, Zarek, in Zane's case, the Elven Fighter, and Kayrani, the Elven Ranger, in Kaylani's case.
So you're...
I love the fact that you make it hard.
I'm an elven family, is what I am.
You are an elven family.
I'm all the elves that exist in the world of Kryn now.
Every one of them. Because you're Gilthanus.
And I'm Gilthanus too. And so...
You've really... Yeah, you've
And
got
I can
quite.
control the Ron too if we need me. So,
Yeah,
I
you might
got
have to tonight. You never know. And you might be playing Zarek too because we don't have
Hey!
TV. And you know what? We have Alana Starbreeze in town in
That's
Tarsus.
another elf.
Here's another
Yep.
elf. You can play her too if you want.
All right,
You're
sounds good.
great at elves. You really are.
Woohoo!
And that's why you went first. Why don't
Thanks,
we move
Adam.
on to Kemchan?
Hey. So I guess I represent all the larger characters.
And the small. You're like the you're
I'm the two
really tall
extremes.
and the really small.
But all of them tough as nails.
That's
So
the
I
spirit.
play today. I'll be playing Jadek, our Minotaur pirate captain.
You are.
That's it.
Yeah, you're not playing Gorilla tonight,
Hey.
probably.
Not Gorell today. No,
Last week he killed some people.
that's right.
Okay, just trying
That's
to make
right.
sure.
He did. Threw his weight
that
around
wasn't
and
last week.
his horns.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who did
Yeah.
he kill last week? We didn't have any fights last week. We had one fight, but that was
Oh, I'm thinking 2
KD
weeks
did all
ago.
the fighting.
The two.
Yeah.
The two
Yeah, you're right.
You did play
Yeah.
Flint and couldn't hit anything with Flint.
See, this is the thing. Is like normally when Kemchan is playing those characters, he's not really doing anything. So it's like kind of blurs together for me. And that's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to make sure where it was.
His
Fair
yeah.
statement.
The virtual dice are rarely in his favor when it comes to hitting things.
Flint's favor, anyway.
Flint
Definitely not
especially.
Flint's.
Flint, I think,
Definitely
has
not
hit twice in this entire game
Like,
so
just
far.
hit. Never mind kill.
And
Just
we've been
hit.
doing this for like 10 months.
This is episode what? 30 what?
36. And before I introduce our last player, I will say check out our podcast. Search for Dragonlance Chronicles. I had to think about what it was. I almost said Dragonlance Canticle, which isn't it?
That would be cool.
But that's already taken. That's the Dragonlance Nexus podcast, which you can listen to. I was a guest on there once, not that long ago. So it's good. But we've had a really good reaction to our podcast so far. We had a lot of listeners, so thank you guys
This
for
is
checking
good.
that out.
Pressure's on, guys.
Is it?
No.
You can tell it's really affecting Adam. Wait, is it?
It really is. I'm getting very nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Why don't we move on to our final player character of the evening? Well, I guess the character is who he's going to be introducing. But Will Dodd Player, step up to the mic!
Hello, everybody. How are you this evening? I'm Will Dot Player, and I'll
The
be
dulcet
playing.
tone.
Well, thank
of
you.
the dot player.
I will be playing Alphician, a Knight of the Rose. I get it right?
Yes, you
he's
did.
Rose.
You
Okay,
did.
I always
You even said your name
think
right.
I'm getting it wrong. And Alphician Malkarite,
Yeah.
Knight of the Rose, who unfortunately is falling around. It's like walking
What?
douche. Derek.
Oh, I thought you were done with that sentence.
No, I was just pausing.
Derek
when I
is
should-
one
when
of
I
his
should be.
closest friends, keep in mind.
Dramatic pause.
Really? He's friends? Wow. Alphician's got some issues. then.
We go
Gonna be
through this
friends with that
every...
guy.
Because you don't pay attention to this stream that
What?
you're in.
Hold on, let me read chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah, I know they're like best friends, and he's above him in station, and he
Yes.
he's there and he's trying to help him. He has changed. I guess he wasn't such a royal ass before his family died, and that's the
No, he was. He hasn't
he
really
would
changed.
see. Okay, yeah, you're
He's
still not
gotten
helping my point,
Yeah,
man.
he's gotten slightly worse, but he was always kind of a dick. So anyway,
I don't know.
guys, what are we doing here tonight? We are moving into what we're calling Dragons of Ice DL6. For those of you in the know, you DL fans out there. Now, this is not your typical Dragonlance game. Yes, we are using the original modules, which I should probably pull out. See, I do have them. But we're doing them in 5e, and we're doing them with. I love. By the way, I sometimes just pull these out and just look at them. Like I do. I love
Do you
them.
smell them? That's
No,
one of the
'cause
He
big
never opens them. That's the problem.
I do open them. I do.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you really?
You wouldn't notice over the last few sessions, but yes, I do. We are
I
playing
open
in
them up,
5e. What do
And you gotta open them up and you gotta smell them. Chemchan will back me up on this.
It smells
Oh,
like
yeah.
If you get a comic book that's like early '90s and older, as soon as you open that up, it's like, oh, heaven.
You can still smell the ink.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm not that nostalgic.
Yeah, we know. You're not as cool. That's all right. We still
I'm
like
not. But we're
it.
doing
I
it.
could be.
For
No,
fuck's
go
sake.
ahead. I'm just stop. I'm just go ahead.
We're playing it in 5e. Because I don't remember how to play first edition. I only played it a couple times, if that. I did buy some new books though, guys. I bought some old school books. So you old school guys, boom. I'm in your good graces now. I bought some 2e, I bought some 1e, I bought some 3e, 3.5. I've wasted a lot of money over the last couple of weeks.
Whoa, no, you didn't waste nothing there, partner. That was a sound investment because everything you bought will go up in value. I will guarantee it.
I hope so. But I won't want to sell it then. So when I'm dead, my kids can sell it for a fortune.
Exactly.
So we're also doing it with brand new characters, as you heard from the guys introducing themselves. So we're not using the pre-made characters like your favorites, Tanis Half-Elven. Jesus Christ, Tanis Half-Elven, who
That traitor.
yeah.
If you've listened, well, if you've gotten to this episode, you already know how we feel about that.
Yeah, they hated Tanis. I put him in a weird spot, and you guys who read the books will know.
Tanis
We
is
don't use Karaman, we don't use Raistlin, we don't use Tika, we don't use anybody, but we do put them in as NPCs, and now sometimes they're player-run NPCs for some of those characters as well. But let's get down to it, shall we? I'm going to move over to this screen so you guys can see where to like, follow, and subscribe us as I go through antecedently on DragonLance. So, the Red Dragon Army has attacked the once port city of Tarsus, now landlocked after the Cataclysm changed the land. The Inn Fellows had gone there to look for safe passage for the refugees that they had rescued from Pax Tharkis and now reside in the Dwarven Kingdom of Thorbarden. There no longer seems to be anywhere safe on the continent of Ansalon. Our boy Zarek, not here today, was abducted by the Blue Dragon Army forces and brought to the tent of the Blue Dragon High Lord, who just so happened to be Zarek's old girlfriend, Kitiara Uthmatar. Kitiara warned him of the impending attack on Tarsus and then tried to convince him to leave the others, including his brother, to join her. Zarek declined Kit's offer, not surprisingly. And, well, of course, he would have accepted the offer, I think, if Zane would have been able to come with him. What do you think, guys?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty persuasive. I probably.
yeah, but he declined the offer, and she left him as her forces prepared to leave their camp. Zarek had a bit of an emotional moment there in the tent, but then left and encountered Bakaris, who those of you who have read the books know Bakaris, one of the Blue Dragon Army officers who, along with a contingent of Draconians, attacked Zarek. That being said, he was no longer alone because Flint Fireforge rounded up Gilthanis and Lorana from the streets of Tarsus, tracked Zarek down and aided him in the fight. Zarek led the others in defeating their attackers, but not before Gilthanis fell, and he is now unconscious. Zarek really had some, and I guess KD running him, had some good maneuvers there too, and did a good job in that battle. It was not an easy battle. I really beefed up Bakaris. Previously, we were also aboard the Stormborn, the pirate ship run by Minotaur Captain Jadek Own Entagrath. On board were Kaganesti elf twin sisters, and Kaganestis are the wild elves for you not in the know. Twin sisters Kailani and Karani. As they were about to enter port in Rigat, they were besieged by 2 Red Dragon Army ships. From there, a battle and hilarity ensued. Even though they were outnumbered, they were able to escape the attackers, but not without some casualties, including the death of most of... Thank you, Scott Marish, for subscribing on YouTube. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Most of Jadek's crew perished, including his quartermaster and friend, Adewale Finch, and the loss of his ship, the Stormborn. The ship was heavily damaged and is now floating adrift in the Ice Mountain Bay. Jadek was unconscious at the end of the fight, so he is currently unaware of losing his ship, his crew, and his friend Adewale.
Otto who? Otto Wally, did you say his name was?
Oh God.
No, man, that's not.
Totally not the voice I was picturing for that character.
No, it's not. He ruined Adewale.
It's
Thank
totally
you,
the voice
William
for-
Henry
You're better
Dvorak,
off
for
dead.
sharing our stream. Thank you, Will.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Not playa.
Will not play us, sharing the stream and not paying attention to us once again, guys. You come
I
for the
heard
show and
everything.
pay
I just-
attention
I just-
to our game, even
I
though the players
muted it.
don't.
I
Please?
muted it so you didn't hear it.
Will gives all the rest of us such a bad name.
It's
No,
true.
what are you talking about?
He makes the rest of you guys look really good in comparison.
I guess, yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So anyway, the Knights of the Rose, Sir Alphatian Malkorite, Sir Derek Crownguard, and Sir Aaron Talbot made it to Tarsus, and there met a Minotaur named Jadok.
Wait, where are we at? No, just fucking with you.
Fuck out. And they also met a Kender, who you guys may know at home. Tasselhoff Burfoot was the name. The knights were searching for Tasselhoff in hopes that he would be able to help them find the long-destroyed Library of Kristan and the information about the Dragon Orb, rumored to have the power to destroy the dragons. Finally... Oops, no, we're not going to talk about that because we're not going to go into that today. But there was also a red draconian army captain, Odysseus, who you got a glimpse of a few sessions back. Well, by which I mean last year. So, it was still a few weeks ago, but you get the idea. So anyway, we are going to go to the Ice Mountain Bay. And we are on a commandeered draconian ship, and I should probably put some music on, not that music.
Some sea shanties.
Yeah, I don't have this. I don't have my stuff sorted well enough here. Sorry.
I would never know. I want some surfer music.
Yeah, I think I got that out. So, we are on a commandeered Red Dragon Army ship heading to the port of Riget on the continent of Abanancia, I think it is. Why not?
And Valania.
We're only on episode 34.
That is so
36.
hard to say. It's much easier when I'm reading the books and I can just skip over the words.
Evidence.
But now I've got now I have to say them out loud.
That's called not reading, if you want to get technical about it.
That's fair. Aboard this ship, we have two of the only remaining pirate crew of Jadix. We have Jesus. And did we name the other guy, Kim-chan?
No, but I will name him Big Dave.
Big Dave! He's really
It doesn't
short.
really matter because Jesus is the
Jesus and
guy.
Big
He's the
Dave
pilot.
are aboard.
Jesus is the pilot.
Yeah,
Big Dave
Jesus.
is the...
Thank you, Rodney Ford, for liking the stream. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Hey,
Huzzah!
Rodney. How's it going, man?
So Jesus is steering and piloting the ship, while Big Dave is working the sails.
Dave.
While Big Dave does literally everything else.
Everything
else on board.
Maybe Big Dave will be the new quartermaster. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how we see how we see. This is like a
See how it
job
goes.
review here. It's a work review.
Yeah.
You see how you do. So
Got to survive first.
So on the trip back, Kirani was tending to Jadok's wounds to make sure that he's conscious and okay.
yes,
While her sister Kehlani, after a few minutes, turned into a giant owl again and flew off.
all right. So we'll set the scene.
Okay.
Jesus has taken the wheel. We have Big Dave doing some rigging of sorts.
Playing with sails. He's never done it before. He was like the newest crew member,
Yeah.
and he used to swab the deck, and that was it.
That
So
was
now-
it.
Yeah. And
He was
his
the grunt.
go-to is he continues to just grab the mop, and everyone just keeps having to yell at him to make sure that he's doing his part. Hey, Green Lantern, good to see you. Hey, Sidrin, real long shot, good to see you guys. Be Gone One. So, Kairani is tending to Jadek, who will awaken soon. And that's it on board, besides Kailani, who then turns into a giant owl and flies off. Kailani, tell us about your story. What's happening here?
So on the trip over, Kailani grew quite accustomed to life on the ship, but it was missing something for her, and much to Jadek's initial chagrin, Kailani decorated the Stormborn with flowers and vines and grass that she actually grew from the ship itself. So there is all sorts of living plant life on the ship, and she's very concerned about it. So she flies herself back to the ship to make sure that all the plant life there is okay. And while she's there, she does a little bit of magical reinforcement on this plant life, some of which she had already awakened. So it's really animated plant life that's alive and cognizant and conscious, and can move around and do its thing. So she's going to cast plant growth.
Okay.
The first way you can cast plant growth is by multiplying the amount of plants that are actually in an area. So that's what she's doing, enriching the plant life as if it has had a year's worth of growth. And then the second way to do it is to make them gigantic. So now all of the plants on the ship are now encompassing the entire deck of the ship. Some of which are alive and are now. They've been alive for the whole journey, so they've been watching the crew, and they're intelligent. They have a
I was just going to ask, are they the crew?
So they know how to sail a ship. So Kailani tells the plants that she's become great friends with over the course of their journey that they need to take care of the ship. So they start to repair the sails, they start to fix the deck, and start to sail away.
So I'm sure everyone here has heard of a ghost ship, right?
Yeah.
This is a flora ship.
Wow.
So once the ship is secure and the plants are doing all right, Kailani feels that she's done both her plant friends and her friend Jadek a really good service here, because the plants are now vibrant and alive, and Jadek's boat is in good hands, just waiting for him to come back and captain it whenever he finds it again. So at that, she jumps overboard, flies off to meet the commandeered vessel on their way to the bay.
As opposed to telling them, hey, sail that way.
Well,
That's where Jadek's going.
No. She's not.
That's perfect, though. That's just like Kailani. That's good.
Yeah, she doesn't tell them where to go. They have their own minds. They can do whatever they like.
Plus, the ship's wheel has been disintegrated. And is,
Right.
Or at least the floor of the ship's wheel has, and the ship's wheel is now in the lower deck. So
it has no way to steer.
Yeah, there's no way to steer it.
So they're gonna have to work on that.
They might be able to fix it. So, Jadek, your ship was under siege. Your crew was being slaughtered.
Slaughtered is a strong word. They fought valiantly.
And in the process,
Don't give me that look, Will.
Too late. It's already given. Can't take that back, man.
Right. You can fight valiantly and still be slaughtered.
Okay.
And that's
fine.
exactly what they did.
They were greatly outnumbered.
They immediately were put to sleep and then slaughtered many of them in their sleep. Some of them falling overboard and drowning in their sleep.
Ugh,
That's not good.
it's terrible.
Yeah. You fought very bravely. Were knocked down.
Twice.
But got back up again, because they ain't never gonna keep you down.
I remember now. You gave those ropes hell.
You did. You did.
That's right.
You
I was the only one cutting them.
You showed
Yeah,
I was
man.
the only one able to cut them.
You showed those
Yeah.
ropes. Now, you were able to, and now keep in mind, when you were awoken from being knocked out the first time, you were dying. You saw your life flash before your eyes. You saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And you were brought back. And that's a weird experience. Now, you didn't have a chance to think about this during the fight because there was more fighting to be done. And you kicked into your old training and habit and technique. And just the defense of your beloved ship. The ship that you helped build, right?
Yeah, it was his design and build, yeah.
Then you were struck down again. And there was nothing. Darkness. And then, like some dream, you see the clouds above you. The sun through a thick haze. And it's far away from you. It's but a speck on the horizon. And suddenly, it rushes toward you. And you gasp for breath. And you're on a ship. And you see Kairani, one of your new friends that you've been sailing with now for the better part of 2 months.
That's the ranger, right?
Yes.
Ronnie's the
Yep.
ranger.
The slightly less weird of the two weird elves that you've met.
Right.
But weird in a way that, you know, you've grown to like them and their quirks.
Sure.
And the rest of what happened there on the boat seems like just a distant nightmare that you can almost barely remember. And you feel not just better, but better than you have in a long time. A peace comes along with the health that you've been given, and you've been, you know, in your fair share of scrapes from the time that you were a child. Like, this is not, you know, fighting and pain are certainly not unknown to you. They're common to you, and you've been in fights, and you've won fights, and you've lost fights, and you've been knocked out and gotten back up, and you've hurt and you've healed, but you've never felt like this. And you've never, and whatever just happened to you was a experience and a sensation that you've never felt before. And it was positive, and it was a good feeling, but it was something, the best that you can describe it, if someone were to ask, is you felt like you were being touched by the gods. And you are now lying on your back on a ship's deck, which you assume would be the Stormborn, with this elf looking over at you, and this big smile comes over her face, and she leans down and you know, hugs you around the neck and says, I'm glad you're okay.
Okay. I look around for the rest of my crew.
And you see, immediately you see Big Dave, not swabbing the deck like he should be, but trying to wrangle in the sail, and it's tough because, I mean, we've got a decent gust of wind, and he's trying. Now, this is a two-man job on your boat, and he's trying to pull it in, and you realize something's wrong with that mast. Like, it does not look as tall as it should, but again, you're so out of it. Like, maybe it's it's just you, and you look around, and you look to see the helm of the ship, and see if you see Adewale up there, and you're looking at doors to, you imagine would be the lower deck, possibly a quarters, captain's quarters. It's hard to say, but this is a different ship. And you look up, and up above that, you do see the ship's wheel. That's not your ship's wheel. Like, your ship's wheel was expertly crafted.
Right.
Big, right? Because it was built for it was built for you, and Adewale was a big guy, and that's why he was, one of the few people you trusted to steer that ship. Because you knew that he could contain it. He could contain the force of the Stormborn. Now you see behind this, what looks like a fine, normal-looking ship's wheel, Jesus, a trusted but newer shipmate of yours and crewman. You look around again, and there's no one else on this ship except for a Draconian tied up to one of the smaller masts on the toward the bow of the ship.
Okay. This isn't right. I got how many? So I woke up. Do I have all my hit points back, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Just so I know what to put over here.
Yeah, you can have them back.
Yay.
We definitely took enough time for a short rest.
Yeah, there's plenty of time where everybody is healed, and and.
Gotcha.
Is he covered in glitter from all the pixies?
No, but it smells like cookies. It still smells like
Nice.
cookies.
It smells like. I look like I've been to a strip joint. Covered in body glitter. Oh, I sit up, look around, take it all in. Karani, this isn't my ship. I definitely remember the fight, so that explains that thing tied to the mast, but this is not my ship. Wally!
Karane looks at you and says, "No,
Wally!
that one's broken."
Wait, what? Where's Wally? And I stand up. Now I'm very concerned.
He didn't make it.
He didn't make it. What do you mean he didn't make it?
He fell in the battle.
Now this hits him hard.
Yeah.
Because
And
Wally
at this moment, Kailani, you see a giant owl fly toward the ship, and it sort of, as it's landing, turns back into Kailani. So as it's just about to land, and its talons hit the deck, the talons turn into feet, and just turns into an elf.
Who then proceeds to just skip along towards the deck, and right over to Jadek, who's kind of looking around, and she goes right up to him and goes, "Boop! Glad you're awake." And then goes and sits on the front rail, kind of dangling her feet over the side.
Okay, well she's this normal then.
Karani looks at you and says, "Is there anything that you need me to do?"
Where's my ship?
Kailani looks and says, "Oh, it's that way," and points back.
I look. Can I see it from here?
No. Not from
Where? Over where? I don't understand. I don't understand.
It's where we left it. But don't worry, my friends are taking care of it.
And I look at Karani like, what friends is she talking about?
Probably the
Who
flowers.
has my ship? The flowers have my ship? Wait a minute. Wally's dead. My ship is gone, taken over by flowers. We've got a draconian tied to the mat on a ship that's not mine. What the hell is going on around here? And I'm just pacing around the ship. I go into the doors to see what's back there, just to kind of take, this is not my ship everywhere I'm going. This is not my ship.
It is now.
Yeah, and you recognize, now that you've gotten your bearings a bit, you recognize that this was one of the Red Dragon Army ships that attacked you. And you also, as you're, looking around and going around, I mean, the front of the ship's hull is in pretty bad shape too, because this is the ship, keep in mind, that slammed into the side of the Stormborn.
Okay.
So
all right,
and Jesus is doing a hell of a job, just keeping this thing moving straight, especially because all he's got to work with is Big Dave, who keeps every time something drops, he goes and picks it up and puts it away and takes it off and cleans it off, cleans off the deck.
He's got a spray bottle.
all right, damn it,
And a sham.
Yep.
As he's walking around, he smacks Big Dave behind the back of the head. Just the sails. Just mind the sails. Stop cleaning.
Aye, sir. Aye, sir.
It's not our ship. It doesn't have to be clean. If you see something that needs to be fixed, fix it. But mind the sails. And I walk up to Jesus. I'm like, at least you've got the wheel, Jesus. And I grab him by the shoulders.
I'm glad you're okay, Captain.
You're not Wally, but you'll do. Okay.
Aye.
And I go up to
Wow,
Karate.
there's a compliment.
Yes. And as you turn, just a single tear goes down his cheek. Silently.
And I walk up to Karate. I'm like, okay, are we still heading in the right direction?
Well, we're headed towards port, right?
We still heading towards port? Okay.
I don't know. Jesus has got the wheel.
Aye, Captain. Heading toward port.
Okay.
He sounds just like Wally.
He sounds nothing like Wally.
He
And Wally sounds nothing like what you made him sound like. You desecrated
yes.
the good name of
Nope.
Wally.
Nope, Wally
May he
sounds
rest
just like
in peace. May the gods have mercy on his soul.
So I think he would. The next thing he would do is go into under. What do they call it? Under the below deck, and see what's on the ship. Like if there's anything there, they could use to defend themselves. If there's any weapons, if there's any cargo, what's on the boat?
There are weapons. I mean, pretty much long swords and long bows, a few crossbows here and there. Certainly ammunition to go along with that. There's very little cargo. It looks like this ship, as you're walking through, and it's not a big ship. There's basically, two decks: the top deck, the interior deck, and then there's a small lower deck that is just for maintenance purposes. The middle deck would be the half of it would be the cargo hold, which is the part to the stern, and the other half is what would normally be the ship's quarters. Has been modified with iron bars to create a sort of prison within these ships. So obviously these were ships that were commandeered, you imagine, by the dragon armies, and have been, and again, it was a real makeshift job, a quick job. It's not, they're not well made, but they're strong enough to keep most people in there, certainly if they were locked in. And that's really about all that you see. So it looks like
Okay.
these are really here just to, to either, to take prisoners off of commandeered ships that they find out in the bay, but
Okay.
hard to see what else they're used for. What else they're used for.
All right. So then I restock my crossbow bolts. Go back up top and I grab the wheel. I go, Jesus, go restock. There's some weapons down there, some arrows. Dave, bring Big Dave down there with you. And I wave Karani over. And I go, okay, so not on the ship, I promise, but I'm getting you to where you wanted to go. What
Man of
then?
his word.
Yes, I'm keeping my end of the bargain.
And Karani kind of looks at Jadek, looks over at her sister, looks back at Jadek with like a little bit of a sigh, and says, "Well, she's the one that has the dreams."
I can only imagine what that's like. Given her reality. Now this boat will definitely get us there, but after that, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm abandoning this thing. What are we gonna do with this? And he points to the Draconian.
Well, we figured they came to find your ship for a reason. We might as well ask him what it was.
Okay. All right, and then by that point, probably Jesus and Big Dave come back up.
Sure.
And you go, wave Jesus over, takes the wheel. And as I walk up to the Draconian, I pull my scimitar out.
Ooh.
I just hold the blade right up below his chin. I'm like, why? Why were you looking for me?
These waters belong to the Dark Queen now.
And who is that exactly?
It looks at you, a little bit of surprise, and says, Takesis, of course. And you would know that Takesis is the main god of evil, the god of chromatic dragons, rumor is told. Although, until recently, dragons were certainly just a tale told to children, or, a myth. But at this point, from what you've heard, you haven't seen anything dragon yet, but you've seen these dragon men as you've gone from port to port over the last couple of, certainly this past year, that you kind of believe anything at this point. And you would know that, oh man, Sargonis? Somebody in chat correct me if I'm wrong with that name. But you would also know just from your heritage. Now, Sargonis is the Minotaur god, the god of war and
Considering it's your time to shine.
yeah, Sidon, we need your help here because I wasn't expecting this part to come up, and I didn't write it down. So I'm going by memory here. But Takesis and Sargonis were very close because he is also an evil god. And thank you, Sidorin, for
You got it,
doing
Sargonis.
that. And
Nice.
there's something about the two of them having a child, which is also now a god, but something to do with magic, and you didn't really pay much attention to that growing up.
Okay. So, but why me? But why were you searching for me? You definitely came after me, or were you just going after anybody that you saw?
We've heard of your ship.
And I kind of like, yeah, of course you've heard of my ship.
No ego there.
Yeah.
No.
Trading with Haven and other cities to the north. When we saw the flags flying and the description of your ship, we came to get it. You're no longer in business. These lands are now run and owned by Lord Verminard.
And I look at Karani. You know who this Verminard is?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
And
Tell him you want to work for him.
You're not here.
Tell him throw him off.
Aren't you supposed to be reading chat?
Damn!
I look back at the Draconian and I'm like, where can I find this Verminard?
You can't.
And I press the blade a little harder into his throat.
Kehlani looks over from the side rail over her shoulder as she swings her feet and says, "They don't swim very well."
What? Okay.
Immediately, and I sheath my scimitar.
Last I've heard, he was in some fort built by dwarves or elves or both, I don't know, called Pax Starkus.
I look. Would he know Pax Starkus?
Roll a history check, and let's see.
Inland and all that, so.
10.
10.
You know what? The name sounds vaguely familiar, but you haven't spent a lot of time like in the middle of this continent. I mean, you spend most of your time. I mean, you're much more familiar with Urgoth, Southern Urgoth, the other, the continents to the west. But I don't know. Again, it sounds vaguely familiar. Probably heard about it, at some point, but don't really know much about it. It never mattered enough to you to remember it.
Right. So, and I turned to Karani. It's like, that sounds like it's to the north, or somewhere around there.
I've never been that far.
Like, well,
Kehlani looks over and says, "Oh, Adam, what's the time frame on this? When is this taking place?"
At this point now, it's evening. It's early evening still, but getting a little.
I'm
bit
talking
later.
chronologically with the other.
Oh,
with the
you're actually for your knowledge, this Verminard's already dead. It just hasn't made its way to.
I was gonna say.
To this far west yet.
This is temporally like a couple of weeks before the Blue Dragon, the events at Tarsus.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Kehlani looks over her shoulder and says, "They're not there anymore. We don't need to go to Pax Darkus."
okay. What port? And then lastly, I go to the Draconian. What port are you at? Your people at?
Every port.
All right. And then I just kind of grab him by the throat.
You could do what you want with me, but you'll never get past the Draconian armies in Riggit.
Rig it. Thank you.
And and as he's holding you, he reaches over and licks your hand.
Oh, now it's on.
And I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving
Yep.
throw.
Ew.
16.
You make it. But you feel a sting on your hand. Like it feels like for you it would feel like a jellyfish sting, like what you would imagine that. That's how you equate it.
Kind of shake it off. I don't know if there's any other information I need from him now. All right, I pull the scimitar back out, and I'm just gonna take his head off.
Sure, he's tied up. You can you need to roll for that. Yeah, you just decapitate him.
There you go, Sidorin. Told you it was coming.
And he didn't lose a axe. He lost a hammer.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, if I remember correctly, yeah. I made your character beat up your other character.
Yes. Because the story demanded it.
Yeah.
That is true. He was supposed to lose. He wasn't supposed to lose in such embarrassing fashion.
Embarrassing way, yes.
But he was supposed to lose.
I just like to think of him being made an example of. That's all.
I see.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
So now
you have
dead.
a headless. Oh, by the way, I need you to roll a dexterity check.
Right.
Don't fumble and cut your hand off.
No, it's for the acid.
Oh.
You take 10 points of damage before you're able to jump back out of the way as this thing turns into a pool of acid.
Oh.
That you clearly forgot about.
I clearly forgot about that. I still think they're turning to stone.
In all of your murderous exuberance.
Damn it! Oh wait, so does the mast like start melting?
Part of the floor does.
Okay. Are we close to port at this point?
Yeah. Storm Power did say throw it in the ocean in chat. You know just from your time in the sea that, and you could certainly by conferring with Jesus that you're probably still about 4 hours away from port, and by the time you get there, it'll be dark. But you do see as the sun is already setting, and you can see the lights ahead of you already start to glow.
Okay, so it'll be dark by the time we get into port. I'm talking to Karani at this point. It'll be dark when we get into port. We should be able to sneak up on it relatively easily. We'll stay to the far ends of the docks to stay out of plain view. My intention is to gather up a crew and find the Stormborn. What do you need?
Well, honestly, I don't really know where we're going. And then Kehlani looks over. Adam, which direction is Tarsus from Riggit?
It is a little bit southeast. I mean, it's it's about a few days' journey, but it's in a southeasternly direction.
But and like now it's inland, right?
Yes.
But it used to be port. Okay.
Correct.
Kehlani says, "We need to go where the ships don't sail."
Thank you, Sidorin, for cheering 500 bits. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And that means you guys get another inspiration point.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Thanks, Idarin. You're great.
Thank you, Sidorin.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm going to name a noble in Lukesh after Sidorin.
So Sidorin the 77th.
Yeah, I haven't decided if he's going to be a bad guy or a good guy yet.
Oh, he's got to be a bad guy. I think Sidorin want to be a bad guy. Come on, Sidorin.
You want to be a good guy or a bad guy, Sidorin?
I'm calling bad guy. Who doesn't want to be a bad guy? Sidorin wants to be a bad guy. You know what? I'm calling it for Sidorin.
Okay.
All right, so you are getting closer to port. Is there anything you want to do in those hours? Do you want to come up with a game plan for what you're going to do? I need to switch my headset cable here because I'm having some problems. So you guys talk, and I will be back momentarily.
Well, and then I turned back to Karani. He's like, okay, so you guys are going inland. obviously. I turn to Big Dave and I yell over to Jesus, "You guys think you can handle gathering up a crew?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
What did you have them at? What did you tell them to do?
I asked Jesus and Big Dave if they could handle gathering up a crew, another crew in port. And then I was like, all right, that's gonna take a.
He would have to be a knight of Tiamat, which I don't know that exists in Greyhawk. Okay.
And so then I turned to Kron and was like, well, they freeze me up for a couple of days.
Well, if you don't mind traveling with us, we'd love the company.
I would think, and kind of nodding over to the sister, I was like, I think you might need some help getting inland, or at least company. And honestly,
And then,
I think it'd do some time away from this sea for a little bit.
Kaylani looks right over at Jadek and says, "You're always welcome to travel with us."
Okay.
Sir, what do we do about the dragon armies when we get into port?
Keep your head low. Stay out of trouble. Anyone who's willing to captain under me, or sail, I should say, sail under my leadership, is welcome aboard Stormborn. But you need to know how to fight.
Thank you, Shitterin, for cheering another 100 bits. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Huzzah! You got to get your ship back first, man.
Well, yeah. We got to do that, and that's the big reason why he doesn't want to let Kalani out of his sight, because she's the only one who really knows where it is.
And the only one who could probably get him there too, because this ship.
Like, that's his main concern. Is keeping her safe.
If this ship is able to remain seaworthy, which it's already not in great shape, once it's in port, it's probably going to be hard to get it back out.
Beep.
No, I'm just saying because of the dragon armies there, not
Yeah.
because the reverse doesn't work.
All right, I'm sorry.
Reverse doesn't work.
It's a boat, Will.
They blew they blew the clutch. They can't go in reverse. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, I just don't drive boats.
You sail boats.
Obviously. Sailboats.
Thank
drive
you.
cars.
Oh, let's see. There you go.
No, Will drives Adam crazy. That's what
He
Will.
really does.
Yes, he does.
I'm taking out
All
the
right.
2021 model for this drive.
You know what? Sidderin actually makes a good point, and I'm gonna hold on. He says the Darganesti have his ship. At some point, we may meet some Darganesti, but maybe we'll also do another adventure in the other lands. Since I have this booklet now, where we might see some of those sea elves. But anyway, so you guys are heading into port.
We are heading into port, yes.
All right. So, anything else you need to do, or you want to go in? And good luck docking this thing with
I guess ask.
Big Dave.
Well,
You
doesn't
also
have that-
cut up all the ropes.
It doesn't have that automatic parallel park.
Yeah, it's
No.
got the little camera in the back, and the screen, so you can just see where you're going. It's got the little lines in the back, red,
Yeah.
red, beep, 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 beep.
I guess I'll make sure. Well, I'll have
Run it aground.
Jesus
That would be a
and
great entrance, by the way, Sidderin.
Yes.
Just
I don't
right
have
up
to
onto the docks.
It's like, no, we want to be sneaky about this. So I'll have Jesus and Big Dave kind of like put on cloaks, hoods, maybe some draconian armor. to kind of blend in a little bit. Instruct Jesus to bring us to the far end of port.
Okay. Yeah,
Keep
so,
the colors up.
He steers you over there. You're slowing down. I mean, you're gonna. I mean, basically, you're probably going to need to either help Big Dave or steer, because there's not enough crew to do heavy.
That's right. That's right. So I'll
like you've
I'll
already
steer.
been lowering the sails way before now.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah. So I'll steer. I'll tell the other two to slow us down, drop the sails,
okay.
and bring us into like the very either the very beginning or the very end, depending on where we're coming in. But the far end of the port to kind of sneak in, and as soon as we dock, douse all the lights, quietly sneak ashore.
Okay. Roll. Do you have sea vehicles or something along those lines as far as a skill on your sheet?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
'Cause
roll
your
that.
background was sailor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my
give me a
background's
roll on that.
Navigation tool. No. Where is it?
What's land vehicles? Because it's basically the same stat.
I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's either wisdom or strength. Or dexterity. I don't know. It's one of the three. I don't remember what it is though.
Which is your highest?
My highest is strength. Yeah.
I think it's a strength one.
It's for this. I don't know how to run.
Stealth, maybe? No. Survival? No.
Here, Alpha.
Thanks. Since you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
What check do you use for vehicle operation? Let's see. Tool ability check, right? But what does that mean? Wisdom or intelligence? You can pick one.
Wisdom or intelligence? Let's see. Wisdom.
Yeah, vehicle water. Well, it doesn't tell me.
And I'll give you advantage since you're a captain on the high seas.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
there you go. That's why.
I'll go intelligence.
Okay. That's what Sidrin wanted you to use anyway.
Oh, with advantage, you said?
You're with advantage.
15 then.
15. Yeah.
He's like, you did say with advantage, right?
Yeah, 'cause six was his other, as you can see on the screen there. By the way, do you notice on the new overlay the dragon breathes ice breath?
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
So you were able to dock. It is not an easy process because I mean you just hit the DC that I said for you.
And it was damaged.
The
is
ship's
damaged.
already damaged. You're like crashing into the dock. Like this is not a subtle maneuver, but you are able to dock. Big Dave, as you get to the dock, jumps off the ship onto the dock. You throw him, the tether lines, and he's, doing his best to, to tie him up. But it is not a smooth docking by any stretch.
Okay.
But you do it.
But we do it. So
That's
we're on.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
We're ashore. It's dark. We're all
In the
cloaked up.
distance from the boathouse, you see a lantern light. And now there's already lights, throughout. You probably knocked over, one of the posts that had a torch on it, out where you are in this part of the dock. But you see a figure. It's dark, so you don't have dark vision, right?
no.
I don't think so. And this is beyond 60 feet, so the elves wouldn't notice anyway. So, you do see a figure, at least one figure, holding a lantern, clearly running toward you.
The Draconians are coming. The Draconians are coming.
I tell Jesus to run ahead and meet up and it kind of just because it's not like I can hide and pretend I'm a draconian.
Well,
Right.
from what you see, I mean, if you run to this dock, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a jump, but not an unreasonable one to get to the shore
Okay.
to make a break for it if you wanted to. Or you could stay and either talk him to him, fight him, whatever you want to do. But you do have some options from where you are. And he is about probably 120 feet away from you.
Okay. So yeah,
Can-
like
Kilani kind of knocks an arrow in her bow. Kirani knocks an arrow in her bow and says, "Do we need to take this guy out?"
I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I give Big Dave a pouch of money.
Okay.
I say, tell him to go away. We were never here. Or whatever you can do.
I can.
And I send Big Dave
How
with
much?
the pouch.
How much do you give him? How much is in the pouch?
4 gold pieces.
50, I was gonna say 50 steel pieces.
50 steel. All right.
Yeah.
Roll me a just a d20. All right. First, roll me a d6, and we'll see
Okay.
how charismatic. I mean, you don't roll
Big
3d6. 3d6, and let's see how charismatic our boy Jesus is.
Wait, Jesus or Big Dave?
Oh,
Big Dave.
Big Dave. Big Dave is a 6. Roll for Jesus too. So Big Dave is 6. What's Jesus?
Same thing. 3d6.
Yep.
Come on, baby. Let me get a 4.
6.
Also a
It's
6.
both got 6.
Okay. So Big Dave goes running over.
Hey, wait a minute. Can he use an inspiration to reroll
You can roll
Jesus'?
inspiration for whatever you want to roll inspiration for. If you want to
There you
use
go.
it.
Yeah.
I think you need to re-roll Jesus.
Yeah.
Because
I
you-
feel
I'll
he's
take two.
more charismatic than
Yeah.
Big Dave.
yeah, Big Dave. I accept the
Big Dave's a
6.
grunt.
Yeah.
Big Dave's just the big grunt.
If you use 2 inspiration, I'll let you keep this 6 and then add 3 more to add to it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
But you're down 2 inspiration then.
How much do you
He's
like
got
his...
a bunch of inspiration, I'm sure. Oh, well,
Yeah, I do. I've got like 5 inspiration points already.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All
I like
right,
that.
So you can roll 3d6 and add 6 to it.
Nice.
Oh, 17. So now he's got 23 charisma. No wonder
more
everybody
charisma.
likes Jesus. He is
He's
the
got
most
great
charismatic man on Kryn.
Right?
Well, he is a prophet.
I'm not even going to
got
make you
great-
roll. I'm not even going to make you roll because after that, I mean, so Jesus runs over to him along with Big Dave. You can't really hear exactly what they're saying. But then you see the lantern stop, as he's talking to them, and then turn and go in the other direction. And Jesus and Big Dave come back, and they just go like this from the dock. Thumbs up, Cap.
Give him the.
All right. And I turn to the elves. I'm like, that's why I sent Jesus and Big Dave.
All right, so you do have a little bit more
All right.
time now to exit the boat and head on your way.
All right, cool.
And thank you, Sidran, for cheering another 4. You had 1 before, so everybody does get
you
another
go.
inspiration point back.
Huzzah!
So you only lose 1. Huzzah!
Nice.
Ah,
Up, and there's another one anyway. So 5.
Wow.
So
So I
thank
got
you,
those
Sidran.
2 inspiration
That
points
goes.
two
back.
So
right
you
back.
you use 2, you get 1 back. So you basically it's a net of -1 there, which is not bad. So anyways,
Not
at this
bad.
point, we are going to stop and take a quick break. Only be a couple of minutes because there's only a few of us, and we will be right back. So thank you for hanging out with us here on a D&D Friday for Wicked Studios presents Dragonlance: Dragons of Ice, Part 1. And we'll be right back here and see what other crazy misadventures these guys can come up with. All right, we will be back. See you in a bit. And we're back. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and others, to Wicked Studios presents DragonLance, Dragons of Ice, Part 1.
I can never do that. I always fuck it up.
You really do. You
really
have to
bad
write
at
it
it.
down. I think that's really.
I think I did write some of the stuff down, and I still messed it up.
So we are back. Worst intro ever. You've obviously never seen Will do an intro. Even my intentionally stupid intros are better than Will's earnest ones.
They're charming.
Oh, I almost joked.
Sorry.
This might be my last cheat day because I'll be dead. So,
Lutern's all like, worst intro ever. Who gives better intros, Adam or me, Lutern? You can put it.
Tell us the truth. So, we are back. Thank you for hanging out with us here on D&D Friday. And we're going to cut to Tarsus. To evening. The evening before the evening that the dragons attack. Adams are actually better, thank you.
No, quit reading the chat.
Oh, by the way, is there a... No, I'm going to read that. Of course I'm going to read that. Will, is there a giveaway tonight?
Oh, yeah. Let me do it right now. Thank you for
let's do
bringing
it.
it up. So I'll go ahead and I'll put it up.
So we have a $10 drive-through RPG gift certificate for you guys. All you have to do is go into the chat on Twitch.
Yeah,
Not yet. Will give you the... I'm just telling you what you need to do so you can prepare yourself. Some people need time to think it through. These are men of thought, not men of action. I guess.
Men of thoughtful action.
Thoughtful action, yes. There you go. They are men of thoughtful action, and women and others of thoughtful action.
Yes.
So,
people, beings.
That's perfect. Beings of lawful action. That's this bullshit with this group.
There it is. It has started.
All right, so all you need to do is type ! Drawing.
Citron's already in.
Citron's got in there. I'm rooting for Lutern because Lutern is always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to these giveaways.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, you have to be on Twitch.
Or on Facebook. We got some folks on Facebook watching tonight.
On Facebook as well, yes. You have to be on Twitch.
So come over to Twitch. You can go to twitch.tv/Wicked Studios LLC. It's actually right there on the page. On the screen that you're looking at, or go to the app. Go to the Twitch app. Same thing. Wicked
and
Studios
if you
LLC.
follow or subscribe, you get more tickets when you enter.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You have said that before, but I've never really paid attention to it until now. That's great. So if you follow or subscribe tonight, you can also get extra tickets. Or one. How many extra? I was paying attention again. How many extra tickets was that?
If you subscribe, you get 4 tickets.
What?
If you're following us, you'll get 2. If you're just some Joe Blow off the street, you get 1.
Just a random sucker.
Some guy come in. Oh, yeah, I heard there was a giveaway.
Drawing. Type. Then those are the people that win too, by the way.
I don't even know what DragonLance is. What's a dragon?
Who are you guys? And
No, he
remember,
never pays
in order to
attention.
win,
Winter.
you need to be watching because you
Yes.
need to watch the stream to win the cash.
Yep, at the end, when we pull the winner, if you're not present, you do not.
Yeah, Green Lutern and that guy did win. See, I pay attention to some things, Lutern. So, we are in Tarsus. It is evening. The knights, Sir Alphatian Malchorite. I think I know your name better than you do, Will.
No, I got it.
Sir-
Malchorite is the part that I tend to forget because I never use it. I just always say Alphatian. I have to double check the last name.
Thank you, Lee Kim the Learned, for subscribing. Huzzah!
Woo! Huzzah!
Lee Kim,
Kim the Learned.
Lee Kim has been hanging out with us on and off. I don't see you enough, Lee Kim, and that's a little bit of shaming on my part to you, but that's purposeful because I miss you. Lee Kim also played a game with us on a now defunct Twitch channel, which shall remain nameless.
Yes.
So I miss Lee Kim. Lee Kim's a great guy, and I hope you're feeling well. And it's good to see you here on the stream tonight.
Yes. And you are on the short list, Lee Kim, just so you know, before you type it in.
Fireball, I want Fireball. There you go. That's the Lee Kim we know and love. So you are, and Lee Kim, put in the chat how much you know about Dragonlance, because you know everything about Greyhawk. And most things about D&D in general. But how much do you know about Dragonlance? I don't know that. So, Sir Alphatian Malchorite, Sir Derek Crownguard, and Sir Aaron Talbo, he was still at the bar. He never went back to his rooms.
Nope.
Meet at around... I don't know what the time system is in Dragonlance. I should, and my Dragonlance Nexus friends will be mad at me. But if they were here, and if any of them are in the chat, let me know, because they know this better than I do. It's around about 3 o'clock in the morning. You've gotten a bit of a rest. Lord Soft did come from Kryn. We saw him a few sessions ago. He's badass. I love Lord Soft. I really want you guys to fight. You'll get there at one point, but you got the
He's
fight
way
Lord
superior
Soft.
than Verminard.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
mad,
and Lee
yeah.
Kim, you just subscribed, but you didn't enter the drawing, man. Type
Oh
exclamation.
yeah, you got to type exclamation
Drawing.
point drawing.
and you can
Gotta
get
be
in
in
the
it to
drawing.
win it, Lee Kim.
You got to watch the stream to win the cash. So, you meet down in lobby around 3 a.m. You are going to head to the ruins to meet up with Tasselhoff Burfoot, the Kender that you have met earlier, that got shakedown by Jadek after he stole Jadek's dagger. Or, I should say,
Like-
found. It happened to
Found.
fall into one of his pouches. Weird. But things
And
happen.
just to clarify, a literal shakedown.
It was a literal shakedown. He picked him
Held
up, turned him upside down, and shook him. Oh, no, it was a money pouch, not a dagger, right? It was your money,
Money pouch,
Yeah.
right?
He took Alphatian's dagger. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So, yeah, so you still don't have that dagger, by the way.
Yeah, I took it off my sheet.
Good. But you'll meet him again. If you ask for him, he might give it back to you. So you're going to meet him to try to find the entrance of this long-lost, ruined library of Christiane, called Christiane. Christan. I keep calling it Christiane.
Christan.
I knew a Christiane back in the day.
Is now so Derek and I are down here, so is Aaron.
Yeah.
Is Tasselhoff here yet?
No, you're meeting Tasselhoff at the ruins.
Oh, we're meeting
He
him
left.
there.
Yeah, he left.
Okay.
Right, he left the inn, and you guys were gonna meet him at the where he felt was where the library was.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll pull up my hood and head for the door
Okay.
after collecting Aaron off of his bar stool.
Yeah, he's got a bottle with him. His you can see he's already before he's filling up his flask, puts it in. I was gonna say like he's wearing a sport coat. I was gonna say he puts it in his inside pocket. He gets all dressed up to go out. He's got a silk button-down shirt, a blazer.
As he should. As he should.
Yeah. He looks great, and with the mustaches, it's really a good look. He's got like a gold chain.
Jesus. Okay.
But he also takes has a bottle of whiskey with him. And
I'm not gonna
Derek,
say
you
anything.
notice since he came down, and even before then, since he's been in Tarsus, you've noticed he's been very quiet. Now
I'm
he's
torn because I want to say something to him to see how he's doing, but I'm enjoying the silence.
yes, because And I mean, he's not the most gregarious when it comes to strangers anyway. He's more of an introvert in that way. Although he is a leader and has no problem ordering people about, and the people under his command do follow and respect, his word and him as a leader. But he's been very quiet since you've gotten to Tarsus. And Aaron's been Aaron. So you head out. It is a cold night. You can see your breath in the lamplight as you walk down the streets, which, besides a handful, 3 or 4 draconians who you could tell have been tying one on, are just sort of wandering the streets, like singing tunelessly. That they're staying on the other side of the city, the northern side of the city. However, they're just sort of stumbling around having a good time. But otherwise, the streets here are empty.
Well, that's good. That's exactly what we need.
Yep. You make your way through the cobblestone streets to the city square. You see the palace above you. It's a tall spire in the center, and you guys came in at night. You have only been here for a few hours, but this is the first time you see this, and you realize that at one point the name Tarsus the Beautiful really must have meant something, and the architecture here is beautiful. It's pre-cataclysm. It's unlike anything that you would see in Salanthus. It's very different from Palanthus, which is a beautiful city. I mean, it's kind of like New York versus Paris. It's sort of, a very different feel, but, an equally beautiful city. And you for a moment, your mind wanders and you think about what it must have been like when this was on the water with those famed white-winged ships that are now, being, transformed and used as housing for the poorer folk, for lack of a better word, out in the outside the city walls. And you continue on. Aaron is just telling his bad jokes and passing around, offering
telling the story about how he saved Derek's life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anytime he has an opportunity, he does that. Derek is still very quiet. You're taking this moment of peace here, and while it's cold, it is just a beautiful night. It's not a cloud in the sky. You can see all of the stars. And for a moment, you can almost forget about the evil in the world and the war-torn lands that you've come from, and the death of your friends, your men, the destruction of the lands, and it's almost easy to forget the dire situation that you're in. And then it comes back to you, this orb. And if this orb really does exist, and if it really does do what that strange rogue woman in Salanthus said that it does, and destroy these dragons, yeah, sure, you can be heroes. Right, and it could certainly propel Derek to become the leader of the Knights of Solamnia. But what if it's not there? What if it doesn't do what this random person says? It's it's a dragon orb, is what they call it here, Lee Kim. But yeah, and then the reality of the situation just comes flooding back to you, and before you know it, you're standing outside of these ruined parts of the city, this destroyed buildings, these rock and stone and just crumbled to the ground, and it's hard to even imagine what this used to look like. And as you're thinking about all of these things, you hear, "Oh, hello!" And you see a Kender with his furry vest and bright blue leggings and silly top knot, holding this weird little stick.
I don't think top knots are silly, Adam.
I did that purposely for Kemchan, by the way.
I know.
I'm well aware. Thank you.
The Kender. Hello.
Hi. You better
Aaron
be quiet
goes right
because
out.
there are some.
Hello, my friend.
Yes,
Yes,
hello.
this is
Hi.
Aaron.
Hi. Yes,
Yeah.
this is a stealth mission, if you recall, and I couldn't help but notice a few of those draconians. Now, granted, they've been drinking pretty heavily, but they do come around here some, so we may want to be quiet.
Yes. Quiet. Drinking. Draconians. And I just look over at Aaron and I go, very well. You said you
I can
know.
be quiet.
Yeah. Well, excellent.
Then
Let's
do it,
continue with that.
asshole.
Go ahead. You said you could show us around.
I think I may have found it.
And then I look
I'm
over
really
at Derek.
good at finding secret doors. Have I ever told you the time, by the way, that I was in a
Yes.
wizard's tower and saw a woolly mammoth in
Yes, you-
a tower? Can you believe it?
You're not being quiet now either.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting. It's such a great story, though. We really should talk about it over tea.
Yes. Don't encourage him, Aaron. Quickly show us where this entry is that you found.
Aaron, roll a perception check.
Got it.
And he will lead you to sort of through the rubble, and you're sort of climbing over broken walls and a 3. Okay.
Oh, yep, I've been drinking. Perception roll right there.
Yep.
Yep.
I will play an Irda. Yeah, that'll be pretty good, Lee Kim. They don't know what that is, but
I have no idea what that is.
we
Is
haven't
it a gully
gotten we
dwarf?
haven't gotten to that part in the story. And we're not going to get there in these modules either, but maybe one day. So you're climbing over these, low broken walls through this rubble and stone, and he just stands there smiling.
All right, is this it?
Yes.
And I'm not seeing anything. I think.
It doesn't. It looks like there's nothing here. Like what the? It's just more rubble. Roll roll a perception check, and you can say what you want to say. I'm sorry.
Well, that depends on this perception check.
And roll 1 too, Aaron, and we'll use your rolls for Derek.
13.
6.
6. Ah.
No, it doesn't. Like what the fuck is he talking about now?
All I see is rubble, Kenda.
Oh,
you sure?
I forgot. Your eyesight's not as good as Kender. But so yeah, if you look, come here. And he's leaning down, and he points down. And as you lean over and look, you can see beneath some rubble, there's a little area. And if you put your hand through it, you can feel a broken, different. It's still stone, but it feels different, and you feel maybe that is a stone door.
But it's got junk on top of it.
It's got junk on top of it. So, in order to get rid of the junk, I'm going to need a couple of rolls, and that's going to be for both of you guys. I'm going to need, and you know what? I'm going to give. So you can roll for Derek. Basically, Derek is a grump, and he just wants this orb and nothing else. And so, but Kemchan can be Derek for them for a moment here.
Kemchan's good at playing grumps, though.
He is. It's a natural.
So I think he's cut out for this part.
Oh, piss
Oh, you
off.
already have Derek is in your. Oh, you should play. Yeah, you should play Tasseloff with your top knot. So,
Derek,
You should have him in your. You should have his character sheet in your thing already because you were
Oh, yeah.
trying him before. So
yes, I have him. There it
I need everybody to roll strength checks. Alphasian, you can roll in athletics, and also a dexterity check. Alphasian, you can roll stealth.
So
So
you want me to roll
basically-
athletics and stealth.
Yeah. So basically, what you're trying to
I
do
see.
is move these rocks, but do it relatively quietly.
So Aaron got a 11 for the strength and a 17 for the dexterity.
Okay.
16 for the athletics and a 13 for the stealth.
All right. So far, so good. Let's see what Derek does.
All right. Derek is 19 strength.
Okay.
Was it dexterity?
Yes.
21 dex.
critted that.
Nice.
Yeah, so you guys are able to clear that out. Now you're used to working together. Now you're not used to doing manual labor because that's what you have servants for. But you're used to working together, and that really pays off in this scenario. So you're able to clear away the rubble. And yeah, that's a stone door, and it's cracked and broken. I'm going to need another athletics check with advantage for Alphasian.
Okay.
So
19.
19, fine. You're able to. It's hard work, but between the three of you, you're able to open this door. It is dark, and it smells of that musty old book smell.
And
It's
none
what
of us
Will-
thought.
It's what Will wanted me to do with this. Is just sniff the book.
Smells so good. Smells so good.
Here's your opportunity.
None of us thought to bring a torch or a lantern.
No, but Aaron does have a flask full of booze.
Wow, we think alike because I was just thinking about that and thinking how much Aaron might give me a fight to get
All right.
that.
So Aaron goes to pull out his flask, and it's not there.
Ooh.
He looks over at the Kender and
Yes?
says, "Mr. Tasselhoff, there are
Derek chuckles.
there are a great many things in this world that one can liberate from their current location. My flask is a dangerous thing to do that with. If you have it on your person, please return it."
Huh. Let me see. And he's running, rummaging about it. Oh, look at this. You must have dropped it. Here you
I
are.
must have. Thank
And
you.
he hands it back to you.
Great. Now, you wouldn't happen to have a torch in that pouch, would you?
No,
Oh,
I can
yes.
see. I mean, it's very dark, but I can see pretty well.
For us.
Roll a percentile die, 50-50. You have to have a torch in your pack, don't you?
Well, I guess I would have brought my pack with.
Knowing you, by the way, I'm going to tell a quick story. We were playing on our Sunday night game. It's not a stream game. It's we'll call it a home game, but we do it online. We were playing through the Horde of the Dragon Queen and the whatever the other one is, Rise of Tiamat. And Will was playing a cleric because Will likes to play holy types. We found because nobody else wants to play the cleric. That's the only reason we let Will join our group.
Yeah, it's the only reason.
And we don't know why we've kept him here, but that's the reason
Because I'm still the only guy that likes to play cleric.
Find a cleric.
Fair enough. And we were in the part where we're in the swamp going into this fort that was overrun by lizard men. And in order to cross the swamp, Will's character decided that he was going to leave his pack behind in case he had to swim. So
That's solid. Yeah.
the best part is we never went back to get it. So so for I don't know how many, it was most of the session. I don't know if you ever had any. Like he's like, I got it in my, no, I don't have my pack. He had nothing on him besides his weapons for the entire, like almost the entire rest of the campaign.
Now you want to know the funny part is
Yeah.
that I was thinking is like Alphasian wouldn't bring his pack with him.
That's why I'm asking.
He would leave it. He would leave it in his in the tavern. He'd be like,
So I'll tell you what, roll me a percentile die, 50-50 to see if you have your pack.
okay.
And then another 50-50 to see if you have a torch.
I was going to say he was. I do have it on my character sheet. I have an explorer's pass.
And then
so.
I'm gonna Kem-chan, roll a percentile.
So am
22.
I rolling high or low here?
That's up to you.
Okay, we're gonna go with low.
Okay. 11.
There
You
it
have
is.
your pack. Now see if you have a torch. High or low.
Oh, definitely going low.
Okay. 35. All right.
Nice.
Okay.
You have your pouch. You pack. You have your torch. You light it up.
What am I rolling for here?
Not right
yeah,
away.
you don't need to do it anymore. He already got his
Oh, okay.
pouch.
After we open up the door, and well, since the door's open, I'm gonna descend down in a little bit,
Okay.
then light it.
Sure. Good
so
idea.
that tried to cut out some of the
Got
light.
it. Yes, you do that. You light it up, and you were in a library. And you know what? I'll put you guys onto that library. Why
Ooh,
not?
a map.
I mean, it's the same map you're already on doing. Except you might have to ignore some of the other people that aren't actually in this room right now. And let me get.
Hey, there's Erdrin. I know that guy.
Yeah. Speaking of clerics, I gotta find out where these things are here so I can get rid of them. Oh, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right, so you were in this library. I'm gonna just lose these dudes. Everybody in the library roll an investigation check. So if you don't have investigation as a NPC, then roll your intelligence.
Nope.
And this is, I mean,
18.
you can see that this is the basement of the Library of Kristan, and it's in remarkably good shape, all things considered. There are a lot of books strewn about on the floor, a lot of rubble and dust, of course, cobwebs. However, it is otherwise in pretty good shape. A lot of the desks and the furniture are broken or have holes in them, except for this one in the back where you guys are currently standing. Derek, looking through the shelves, finds a couple of books that look interesting, and so do you, Alphatian.
When we talked to the person
Aaron-
who sent us here, they didn't say, "Hey, the orb's there." They said, "Hey, you might find information."
Information on the orb.
Okay,
Correct.
I wanted to. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. They weren't sure where the orb is. It's possible that it could be in there, but you haven't seen any sign of it. So
And now the halfling only knows.
It's a
that-
Kender. We're in the world
Sorry.
of Kryn.
The Kender only knew where the library was. He doesn't know anything about the orbs, correct?
No, he didn't know anything about anything. Yeah.
All right.
So, and it takes a few hours to go through some of these books, but in one of the books that Alphatian found, you come across information that this is an old book. If as you open it and you turn a page, the page almost crumbles in your hand. So you need to be very careful
Ooh,
in doing this. So roll me a sleight of hand. We're gonna do that and just see how.
sleight of hand. Is that?
It's
is that
a skill. It's dexterity.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
You go
I'm
to
going to.
yes.
I'm
You-
gonna spend, and I'm gonna spend one of those beautiful points.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
This is valuable stuff here. So let me make sure I deduct it first, so that I'm not cheating by keeping it. Okay, here we go.
8.
I doubled it.
So
Whatever.
So you turn a page and it crumbles. You turn another one, it crumbles, and you're just like, oh, all right, I got to get to a page that doesn't crumble. And then Derek slaps your hand out of the way,
Stop it!
pulls the book toward him, and he's reading it, and he says, "Well, I can't make heads or tails out of this." And Aaron is reading a book too that it's just. there's something weird with this. Like, I mean, there are some books in different languages, certainly, of course, here, because in this library. This is a language that doesn't make any sense at all. And even as you were looking at it, as you're turning the pages, like the letters were weird. Like there was nothing about it that even seemed familiar. Like even some like Dwarven or Elvish. I don't know what languages Alsatian speaks, but those, even if you don't know them, you can recognize that this is a dwarven language. This is an elven language. Although I can't read it, I recognize the the lettering, the symbols. I don't know what this is, and it's frustrating because, like, this is like most of the books you found. I mean, are there's some interesting books on history. There's some just fiction books, but this is the only one that really seems strange. And there's another one too that's a thinner book that has a similar, it looks like similar type lettering.
We're going to have to
Like a
take
core
these-
rule book and a supplement. is what you're saying.
Exactly, yes.
Gotcha.
Derek, I'm afraid we're going to have to take these books with us and try to find someone that can interpret these things.
We cannot trust anybody with this information about the orb. You understand this?
Okay, can you read it?
I certainly can't. No.
None of us can.
It took a minute to come out, didn't it?
Well, I contemplated having another drink. Maybe that would give me a little bit more clarity. But in that state, I don't think I could.
I'm sure that we can find someone that we can trust, at least for long enough to interpret it for us.
Well, this talks about the dragon orb right here, can't you tell? And he points at the book. In the book with his words that don't look anything like dragon or orb anywhere on this page.
They don't even look like words.
They
You
don't
know
even
what
look
this-
like words, yeah.
You know what this says, Kenda?
And as you look at the Kender, you realize he's wearing a pair of glasses with ruby colored lenses.
Where did you get those? I thought you said your eyesight was keen.
Oh,
Found. I see.
yes, I found them. Somebody must have dropped them.
Right in your packet.
Can I see them perchance?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
They're really small.
Then I won't put them on my big skillet head. I'll just I'll fold the legs in and then I'll hold them up to my eyes.
Yeah, and it
just
doesn't.
look through
Yeah,
the
it's hard to. I mean, you could sort of make out some things here or there and see that yes, these are words, and I can sort of make them out, but without putting them on, you can't. It's
Aaron, you have a more delicate head. Try to put these on.
same thing
They're
with
very
Aaron. It does. It's just.
They're
not
really,
gonna
really
fit.
small?
Yeah.
These seem a little small. I mean, we do have a trustworthy fellow here.
We should give them. All right. Tell us what it says, Tasselhoff.
It would be my pleasure. I once heard of glasses like this before, but I never thought that I would find any. Glasses of true seeing, they're called. I used
read.
to. Oh yes.
No. Yes, read the page first.
Of course.
And then you can regale us with your stories.
Yes, of course. So, it says
Derek's probably
here.
rumbling in the corner. Like, all right, you let this guy read.
It says here that there is a dragon orb, and the dragon orbs were created by the wizards of all robes, white, red, and black. And did I ever tell you that I knew a wizard once?
Yes, I'm sure you can tell us about
Yes.
it. But
And,
first,
I knew
continue
two.
reading.
I was friends with one, but I knew another one in a tower where I saw the woolly mammoth. That's an incredible
Yes.
story. Have you ever heard that story?
Tasselhoff.
All
Yes,
the way
look-
up in the tower, huh?
Oh,
Aaron,
it was
stop
amazing.
encouraging him. Tasselhoff, please. Can you? It's very important, and we're pressed for time. We don't want to be here and have draconians come about. So, what does it say?
Well, it doesn't say what the orb does, at least on this page. And he says, but if you turn to this page, and thank you, Gargamon, for raiding. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And thanks for you
Gargamon.
who have joined Gargamon in your raid. Thanks for hanging out with us here on D&D Friday as we play through the classic Dragonlance modules with all new characters, although we do have one of the original player characters, Tasselhoff Burfoot the Kender, as an NPC. And also we have Aaron Talbo and Derek Crownguard, who are player characters in some of the modules as well. Well, it doesn't say what the orb does on this page, and he turns it and it crumbles. Oops! But if on this page, it does say that there were a bunch of them, and that there may be one south of here in Icewall.
South.
And he says, and then it looks like there might be another one. He turns the page. Oh. Oops.
Please be careful.
There might be another one, but I can't read it anymore because the page broke.
Was there a direction on that page? Get anything?
Icewall.
Ice wall.
Everybody roll a history check.
say.
Roll low DC. Intelligence if you don't have history for those NPCs here.
15 for Aaron.
Ooh.
Ooh, I do have
Ten
his.
for
How
Derek.
about that?
With Derek.
Six.
Ah, whatever. 6. And I've got history. You know what? Yeah,
Aaron,
I'm spending another point because I don't want to look like a fool.
Okay, fine.
I want to be useful for something.
Since this is your story.
Yes. Watch me double it and I'll get a 12.
9.
Nope.
Aaron
Like,
knows.
wasn't ice wall like Alphatian's like, wasn't ice wall the large 700 foot tall wall that separated the North from the White Walkers? And Aaron's like, no, silly.
That's just a story.
That's just a story. Next thing you'll be telling us that the world is actually inside the eyeball of a giant ogre named Matagogre.
Now, I will say this was written before those
Yes.
not Lord of the Rings. So what the fuck are those Game of Thrones books?
Game of Thrones. Yep.
But yes, it's the same name. Icewall, you know, is south of here by probably a 2 weeks journey on foot, anyway. And it is the further south you go, the colder it gets, and you know that it is super cold right here already. So you guys have already, you know, like I said, before you even got to Tarsus, you guys really
For
boned
winter
up
journey.
on your, So
Yeah.
I mean, you've been fine since you've been here, and you feel like the equipment that you have would probably be sufficient to make a journey there, although it's not going to be pleasant.
Well, sounds like we should warm ourselves as best we can and then head to Icewall.
Yes, I would agree. Is there anything else in these? You know what, Tasselhoff? No, we couldn't. It's too important of a... But wait. I think you're the only one that can do this job. I don't think there's another person, perhaps in all the Kryn, that can do what we need done.
Derek just puts his
We need someone
head
who
in his
could
hand.
read the rest of these books and see if they can't come up with more information. I grab him. We need information about dragon arms and anything we can use to fight against dragons. You're the only Kender, the only person that could possibly help us with this.
Well, that is a big task, but one that I am up for and capable of doing. You've got the right Kender, sir. Knight. Guy, I don't remember. What's your... Night Heart Gaming, thank you for rating with a party of 43. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Aaron
Frank,
takes out his sword and says, he looks over at Alphatian and says, "My good sir,
I just look at him and I wink.
a task of this magnitude can only be undertaken by a knight."
You're not going to
I-
knight him, Derek says, and then he walks out of the...
Oh,
Does he walk out and he goes upstairs?
Yeah.
Then
Then Aaron is knighting him.
I look at Aaron and I just like, go ahead, do it really quick.
Please.
And then I follow him
Sir
out.
Kender,
And as
take it.
as I turn around on the stairs as I'm going down, that's right. Don't. And then I hurry up.
Take a knee, Mr. Tasselhoff.
Tasselhoff, he gets like tears in his eyes, and he takes a knee.
And Aaron touches the sword to each shoulder and says, "By virtue of the Knights of Solamnia, I task thee, Sir Tasselhoff, the learned, with the task of uncovering the secrets of the dragon orb.
Why, this is...
You may rise, Sir Knight.
This is... And he rises. This is an honor.
Hold on a second, not to interrupt,
Yes.
but everybody who just
Talk into the mic, goddammit.
Sorry, I'm looking. What? I can't hear you.
Move your
Everybody
mic to the other side of your desk, you asshole.
I can't. It won't move. It won't move. It's stuck. Anyway,
But not to
don't listen
interrupt.
to Adam. Hey, we have a giveaway for a $10 gift certificate going on right now for
Yes.
Drive Through RPG. And
On
if you
Twitch.
type, yep, on Twitch, if you type exclamation mark drawing, you can get entered into it. So I just wanted to let everybody know who just came in. You must be present at the end of the show to win.
You
that's
have
it.
to watch the stream to win the cash.
What? All right, go ahead. Continue on with your halfling knighting.
I would love to. So he stands up and says, "Wow, this is truly an honor. I never thought that I, Tasselhoff Burfoot,
Sir
Sir
Tasselhoff,
Tasselhoff Burfoot, the learned, would ever become a knight, a real knight. Well, I can't wait to tell Uncle Trapspringer. But yes, I'm going to get to this right away, sir. Oh, this is going to be something. And if you wouldn't mind, he left with a torch. It's kind of dark. And while I can see in the dark, it's hard to read.
You have any candles in that pack of yours?
Oh, let me see. Oh, yes, look, here it is. And he lights a candle. And he gets to work.
Very well. We'll see you here in the morning before we leave.
Yes, sir.
And Aaron gives him a little salute, sheathes his sword, and turns and walks away.
I gotta say, if
Thank
we
you,
don't
Lonely
accomplish-
Yeti 0312 for following. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Thanks, Yeti. I gotta say, if we don't do anything else in this Dragonlance game, the fact that he pseudo knighted
He knighted Tasselhoff.
Tasselhoff, that's good enough for me. I'm good.
That was awesome.
Oh, that's
well,
wonderful.
you know what? I'm going to give Jason an extra inspiration point for that. 'cause
Yeah!
That was great. That was really good. I think that's the first inspiration point I've given out.
It might be.
Yeah, it is.
In
Adam.
36 weeks. So, with that, we are going to cut to the barren, snowy lands west of Tarsus, where, oh man, I forgot our music.
You mean we knighted a Kender without music?
We
Oh,
did,
man.
unfortunately. That was rough. All right.
That's terrible, man.
That is terrible. I forgot to put it back on after the break.
But at least the dragons breathe ice.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is pretty cool.
Excuse me. So, it is morning. You, Kailani, right?
Kailani.
Kailani. Yeah, I got that. I was getting it right up until now. I don't know what happened.
Yep, that's right.
Kailani, Karani, and Jadek are going through. It's super cold, guys. You were able to find some, and you're going to need to get rid of some steel. I'll say 10 steel altogether. That between the total for the two of you. That
Whoa! Let's back up a second here. Jesus is rocking.
Jesus isn't with you. Jesus isn't
never
with
mind.
you.
That's right. Jesus and Big Dave is getting another
They're
crew.
getting a crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that it's Big Dave.
Jesus and Big Dave are getting a new gang together. And you were able to buy some warm weather gear because it is super cold, and it is. It was very difficult to communicate with this guy. He spoke broken common, but there was a few of them that were out. Traders called themselves ice folk. Didn't talk much again because it was difficult to communicate, but you were able to with some steel because you didn't really have anything else of use to give them, but they can use it to buy other goods as they continue on their journey, to get some warm cloaks and gloves at least, mittens probably, and you've been on the road now for over a week and a half. It's been miserable, but the company has been good, and your spirits are, while not as high as they were before, you've really gotten closer to this big minotaur, and the minotaur to these weird little elves. And while this is more time than you thought you would spend, Jadek, away from your ship, you know that it's going to take time to get the right crew, to get a boat that you can go and find the Stormborn in. So you're not super concerned with that. And I mean, you got Jesus leading the way there. So if this was just Big Dave, you'd be more concerned. But you have all the faith in the world in Jesus.
Jesus is actually competent.
He really is. He's the most competent of any character or NPC we've had so far in this game.
And if he's not, he can find someone who is.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And convince them to help. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you get up in the morning. You do your you make your breakfast. Jadek does his push-ups and squat thrusts, burpees, and are starting to go on your way. And Kailani, roll me a wisdom saving throw. Tell me what you got, because I'm not looking at that screen.
20.
20. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you have a strange feeling, and there's a nervousness, a trepidation that comes over you suddenly, and you can't place it because you guys are just hanging out. You've been shooting the shit, telling stories, joking around, as you've been doing every day on this trip, just to make it a little bit more bearable. And this feeling of concern just washes over you. For a moment, in the gray light of day here in this snowy land, you feel like in the distance you see these two translucent, glowing, golden, hourglass-shaped eyes. And then there's another set.
Run.
And when one comes into existence, and you finally catch just a glimpse of it and see it disappears, and then another appears. And at first you thought, well, these are the same eyes, but then there's something about them that's different, and you can't place it. And they just keep sort of slowly fading in and out of existence.
So kind of like those like lithograph holograms. Like if you look at it one way, it's a dog. You look at it the other way, it's a cat.
That's
like
that's a good way of looking at it. Yes. And it's sort of but instead of just having that solid thing, they're sort of coming in and out of existence. Almost.
Yeah, out of like ethereal nothingness.
Exactly.
Got it.
And it feels almost like a battle between these two beings, I guess you would call them. There's no words spoken. It's just this feeling of angst.
So Kaylani like gets up, stands up, and like is looking off in the distance at where this battle is taking place, and kind of like just drifts over to it a little, like wanders a little bit away from the firelight, and then kind of absent-mindedly, like to nobody, says, "I think he's losing. I don't know who he's fighting, but he's not doing well. He needs our help."
And you hear this, Jadok.
Who?
What?
Who's losing?
Oh, the elf. And she comes back over casually, sits back down at the fire, starts eating her plate of vegetables.
Okay.
At this point, Jadek's kind of used to the random things that come out of her mouth, and he just kind of shakes it off. Like,
Okay.
he doesn't even like look at Karani anymore. It's just.
In Elven, Karani asks if Kaylani's okay and like tries to comfort her, and like that was strange. And Kaylani, back to her in Elven, says, "Yeah, he's not doing well. He needs help."
Jadek leans over to Karani. Is this who you're looking for? This elf?
You mean Kaylani, you mean?
No. He's to
Oh,
Karani.
you're to Karani? Okay.
No, he's like,
Sorry,
'cause he's
Jason
given up on trying to
goes
have a
out of
direct
his way,
conversation
and
with
KD
Kalani.
is a willing contributor
To
to
mess
make
up
the
names,
names as difficult as possible for anybody, especially me, to remember. Because they all sound alike.
So
I
Karani
appreciate that
are
so
the
much, by the way,
arena.
Jason.
That's how I'm remembering it.
Karani looks over at Jadok and says, "We're looking for some elf. She says that she's seen him in when she sleeps in dreams, and that he needs our help."
Okay. All right.
More than that, I don't really know.
So you continue on your journey. It takes a while, but eventually you guys sort of fall back into that routine of your conversation and sort of forget about the weirdness that happened in the morning as you were breaking camp. Night starts to fall. You find a place that you feel is going to make as good of a shelter as any. It's none of you have been getting great night's sleep during this because of the cold. With the equipment that you were able to buy and the additional warmth that creates, I mean, you're still huddling up every night. It's more and more difficult to build a fire as there's fewer and fewer trees. And
Kaylani makes sure that Bart is nice and warm as well.
yep. So Karani is, as usual, meticulously setting up the camp, and everything is in its right place. And like it would be weird if, like, even to Jadok now, and Jadok is used to just living on the ship in that regimented lifestyle there, that this is it's a comfort, really, to the way that she sets up this camp for you and for her sister and herself. And you are sort of just enjoying the evening, and again, trying to forget about the cold. And Kaylani, But no, I lied to you. Karani. God damn you, Jason. Karani just smiles, and just a genuine, heartfelt smile as she looks at the two of you and says, "I've been lucky. I've always had my sister. I've always had a friend. And Jadek, I count you as my friend, and I'm lucky to have you. And thank you for coming with us. I know that this has been a strange and dangerous journey, and none of us know where it's going to lead, but I'm so glad that you came with us, and I'm so glad that I've gotten the chance to know you."
Jadek kind of chuckles.
Kaylani looks over and says, "Yeah, Jadek, thank you. Thank you for being a friend. We've
Thank you
traveled
for
down
being a
the
friend
again. Part is true. You're a pal and
And a confidant, yeah.
And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, 'Thank you for being a friend.'" And she goes back to her eating her.
And Jadek chuckles. He turns to Karani and is like, "She came up with all that on her own, huh?"
Who knows what goes on in her head?
And he goes, "That's why I enjoy being with the two of you. I never know what's going to come out of any of your mouths."
And then at that moment, Kailani, as you're all sharing this laugh, you see something in the distance. Something that at first you think is a bird. But no, it can't be, because it's so far away, and a bird with its size, you wouldn't be able to see it with there. And if it was the size of a bird, it would be much closer. In the setting sun, the red glow covers the snow-covered land, giving it almost a blood-like appearance. At the same time, the red light of the moon is starting to rise, deepening that blood-red color. The shape you can see is sort of moving around the city and not directly toward it. Kairani and Jadek, as you look up, you see it as well. It looks purple in this weird red light at this time of day. The long neck, its reptilian wings that you can see are not feathered and bird-like. The long serpent-like tail. You feel the fear. Starts in the pit of your stomach as just this unease, and then grows as it gets closer. It's still far away and far above you, but you still feel it, this fear. Thank you, Canadian Ancient Gamer, for cheering 100. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Hey, Canadian, I didn't see you come in.
Kailani, there's a sharp shooting pain in your head. it sort of starts at the back and shoots its way forward, where it stays in the front by your forehead. It's an unbearable pain. You close your eyes and you see those hourglass eyes staring back at you. A look of pain, unimaginable pain, is in his eyes. Jadek, you see Kailani drop to her knees, shaking, tears streaming down her face.
I rush over. You kind of like try to cradle her, and because she's significantly smaller, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Cradle her, hold her closely. What's wrong? What are you seeing? What's the matter?
So with like a force that belies her size, she pushes you away and screams and like, he's hurting.
The pain is almost unbearable, and it's spread from your head down your body, and in your heart. You feel it more than anything, and it feels like it's breaking.
And she cries out to Jadek, his heart is breaking. Something's very wrong.
All right, we're gonna have to find this elf to ease this pain.
Suddenly, Jadek, out of Kailani comes this primordial scream of pain and anger and anguish. And this is not her. This isn't the elf that you have gotten to know over these last few months.
Right.
She's looking past you. You have her in your arms, and she's looking past you, and she's screaming and she's yelling, and then finally it's just no, it's no. And then she starts yelling, "Help him!" And then Kailani, there's nothing. It's empty. It's dark. The eyes that were staring at you close, and as they do, they blink out of existence. Jadek, you turn your head and see Kailani's twin sister, Karani, looking at you, and she's clearly upset. Her eyes are red-rimmed. There's tears staining her cheeks. It's freezing up against her skin. Without a word, you first just see this drip of blood coming from her nose. Then another from the other nostril.
What
and
the
then,
hell?
And then more. And now from her eyes, blood just starts pouring out. There's a whimper. As she says, "I love you." And she falls to the ground.
With Kalani still in my one arm, and like I'm holding her with one arm, I run over to Kalani and like try to I take some snow in my hand and just kind of like touch it to her face, trying to get her to wake up, wiping the blood off. Like I'm shaking her face and I'm holding her, and he's definitely worried that he has no idea what to do at this point, other than try to console him and wake him up.
Kailani, you don't know what this means, but you know that Zarek is dead.
Oh shit!
So she says that she looks at Jadek, looks at Kailani, looks at Jadek, and says, Zarek is dead too. And then Kailani collapses.
And that is where we are going to end tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen.
I picked the winner Lee Kim, are you still on? I requested.
You got to watch the stream to win the cash.
It does not appear so, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a second winner. See who you get.
Way to ruin the moment, by the way, Will.
Oh, I had to make sure you didn't sign off. Okay.
I wasn't going to sign up for that, doing it.
Gargamon.
Gargamon has won.
Gargamon, are you still on?
Green Loonturn, at some point, you're just going to win because you're the only one left.
I'm telling you, I don't think Gargamon's here still either. I think he took off.
We're congratulating people who aren't here, so don't congratulate him yet. I got Gargamon going once, going twice.
Going twice.
Three times a lady.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna pick another one.
Another one. Who's next?
Celtic Boar.
Celtic Boar 13.
Are you still here, Celtic? Give it a couple of seconds here. Let him type in yes. I can't give this away, apparently.
We're trying to give you guys money, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luton, just ...
I know, Luton. All right. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Let's see. I don't want to try and... All right.
Lonely Yeti. Luton, just type in my name.
Can we just give it to Loonturn?
I say...
Is Lonely Yeti you still on?
Lonely Yeti is...
you know what you know what sucks is that Luton has more he's got 4 tickets.
Lonely Yeti is here, yo. Lonely
All
Yeti.
right.
Lonely Yeti's
Lonely
yeah.
Yeti.
And you know what, Luton? I'm gonna give you a $10 gift certificate anyway.
What a guy.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the right thing to do.
For being such a loyal fan. So what I need you guys to do is message me here. First, you have to have an account in DriveThruRPG. It's super easy to set up if you don't. So just go in there and set that up. I need the email that is attached to your account in DriveThruRPG. Message me your email, and then I will send over your gift certificate. The gift certificate is an option for payment when you check out. So that's where you'll see it.
All right, cool. Congratulations, both of you.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us here on D&D Friday for Wicked Studios Presents Dragonlance: Dragons of Ice Part 1. And we were down a couple of folks again, but I thought we had a pretty fun session here, guys. No
we
fighting,
knighted a
but,
Kender.
yeah.
We knighted
a Kender.
We knighted a
Hasselhoff
Kender.
Burfoot. So yeah, man.
We knighted a Kender and found the most charismatic man in all of Corinne.
So anyway, guys, Will, why don't you tell everybody what happens here on Wednesday nights?
On Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Wicked Studios presents Greyhawk Adventures: The Streets of Lukesh. Did I do it right?
You got it. Comma
I
part
got it.
4, I think, right? Episode 4.
Yeah, yep. Upcoming,
Not
yeah.
40, not 44.
Not 43, but episode 4 will be this coming Wednesday. And we started last week. The first 2 episodes were the constables. Last week was the introduction of the inspectors, which is funny. I can say this now. Okay, the constables are all pretty straight-laced. Those are the beat cops. They're pretty straight-laced, pretty good guys. Pretty much every one of the inspectors are crooked as fuck. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty funny. So, so this is like Gotham PD, is what you're talking about.
Sort of.
What's happening
Yes.
here.
Yes. Exactly.
So, anyway, guys, and Will, before we move off of you, you're doing a Greyhawk. You and Kemchan are doing, and others, of course, your Wednesday night group, are doing a Greyhawk Con thing, right? Or is it something?
Yes.
What is it?
We're actually, it's not the Greyhawk Con, but we're doing the, not Children's Hospital. It's the
St. Jude's.
Thanks. That's
St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So you got the second half.
It's St. Jude's. We're doing the charity event on the 20th of March.
That's March. I thought it was February.
March. I thought it was
I'm sorry. February.
Jesus,
March is
I'm
Gary.
throwing you a bone here.
March
and
is
you're
Gary.
Fucking
March
it up.
March is GaryCon, so I was
March
jumping
is
ahead.
GaryCon, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in February 20th, we'll be doing at 12 Eastern, 12 noon Eastern time. We will be doing our rendition of the Underdark Uprising, which it's a 24-hour live stream between all of the Greyhawk channels, and we're doing a Duergar party, going to reclaim some Duergar
You and your
lands.
Oh, that's
Duergars.
fun.
You play.
Yeah.
Will also plays
Hey.
on Sunday nights with me, and he plays a Duergar. He loves those things.
Those guys are badass. That's why.
You should
All
see
right.
the
Well,
way.
this is all news to me, so I didn't know what we were doing. So,
There you go,
okay,
man.
cool.
See, I'm sorry
I'm
to ruin
glad
your
I
surprise.
asked for Kemchan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anyway, guys, so check that out February 20th at noon, and and certainly there's going to be a bunch of other streams as well,
Yes, all day.
in Greyhawk to support St. Jude's. So check it out. This is the third year now, right? That Wicked Studios has
Yes.
participated in this, and we've had this, and and Jay, aka Lord Gasumba, Jay Scott, is the one who puts this together, and so shout out to him, and check out Lord Gasumba on Twitch. And of course, check us out here every Friday night, guys, for some more Dragonlance as we loosely play through the modules, the original classic D&D modules. We are on Dragons of Ice. We're going through.
You mean to tell me that Tasselhoff Burfoot doesn't get knighted in the real novels?
He does not at all. No,
He does
That's
now.
just bad storytelling.
It's so awesome that you guys did that, though.
We're gonna send. We're
It
gonna
is
do a
hysterical.
video. We're gonna clip that section and send it to Tracy Hickman and
Margaret
Yes!
Weiss, yeah.
and Margaret Weiss.
So, and by the way, guys, this July, I believe it is, there's going to be a new Dragonlance novel, the first of a new trilogy. So that's going to be awesome. Check that out. Also, check out my friends at the Dragonlance Nexus, who have their own stream, and go to their website. But they have a stream once a month, the third Saturday of the month. I am taking a little bit of a break from that, unfortunately, just due to adult stuff, and hopefully I will be back at some point in the future.
Silly adult stuff.
Yeah. Oof, sucks. I'd rather play games here with you guys. So, which is what I'm doing tonight. I ignored some of my adult stuff tonight to make sure I could play with you guys, because I like hanging out with you guys and playing some D&D. And also, of course, hanging out with you guys in chat as well. So check us out here every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern here for that. And anyway, so stay safe out there. Be kind to one another. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world and in this country, and let's be on the good side and do good and change things for the better, and be safe, and we will see you guys next time. We love hanging out with you guys, and thanks for continuing to watch, and we will see you next time on Dragonlance. Bye-bye.